you notice Emily from the side, she's getting a great amount of spinal flexion and then a full extension of the abdomen. Good. I'm just supporting her back so she minimizes the swing and trying to make it a little easier on her. Notice she's coming all the way up. She's getting, her hips are actually rolling. So there's not just movement happening at her hip, it's her whole spine that's actually, that's it, moving. Good, nice and controlled. And rest. Good. Okay, so we actually chose to use 2 single handles this time. You get a lot of people who say when they use the rope, they tend to dig into their hands, so I just choose to use the 2 single handles. I'm just going to just anchor his hands behind his head just so he's got a nice extension of the abdominal wall. And Matt's thinking about when he's doing this, he's trying to think about what's happening in his spine, not what's happening in his hips. So Matt's getting a good extension of the spine and then a good flexion. So essentially he's trying to extend it and then round his back so that his knees come really close to his elbows, or his elbows come really close to his knees. Excellent. So he's trying to extend it all the way up. Good. And the way Matt's going to know he's all the way extended to the maximum capacity, he's actually going to flex his lower back when he gets to the top. So he's going to come up. Once his lower back contracts, the abdominal walls are automatically relaxed. There's a key point for you. If you know you're using a full range of motion, or if you want to know you're using a full range of motion, you contract the antagonist. So this is going to be boom, we contract there. The abdominal walls have to relax. Awesome. So you know he's getting a good stretch and the good contraction. Good. And again, all abdominal exercises you want to do higher repetitions. You hear some people, well, you know, I need to train my attention to what's happening to Emily's spine. So there's, notice how she flexes it, always under control. Good. Just go down to about there. That's it. Good. There you go. So you only need to go so far down that your abdominal wall is actually relaxed. Any further than that, you're going to get a lot more hip flexor recruitment, which may be something you want, but if you're trying to work your abdominals, may not be necessary. If you notice, Emily's actually even got her shoulders slightly elevated off the bench. It's going to make it even more difficult because that puts your body into slightly more flexion. It's going to mean the abs are getting even shorter. And again, a short muscle is a weak muscle, so it makes it difficult. Awesome. Rest. So one of those questions you get is, well, how far do I need to go down? How far do I need to go up? Your choice. Good. So if you notice, she's coming up straight and just a little twist at the top. So if you're a beginner, you may want to start doing this on the floor so there's less likelihood you're going to roll off the bench. Emily's obviously in complete control of everything that's going on. She could tell you exactly which way her body's going at all times. She's got great mental proprioception of where her body is at all times. That's something you want to strive for. Mental control of every muscle in your body. I can tell you exactly where it is at all times. Emily could probably do this on a bench that was 3 inches wide and she wouldn't fall off. Amazing. That's it. Perfect. Love that variation. Great work. He's extending his legs out, keeping constant tension. He never really stops moving. His shoulders are coming off the pad. You see a lot of people doing this where they aim their elbow at their knee. You want to avoid doing that. You want to aim your shoulder at your knee. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. It's more of an elbow movement. Good. He's extending his legs out so as to ensure a lengthened abdominal wall. He's contracting up so he gets a good contraction of the abs. And breathe. Rest. That's it. One of the most important components of abs only makes this look way too easy. Believe me, it's not. It's a great one for an advanced athlete, but a great one to strive for. This is essentially a complex crunch that she's made look extremely easy, but you can see just by watching her abdominals, you can see how much they're crunching, how much they're contracting. Okay, we're going to get Emily to hold her legs up in the air, bend the knees slightly, and we're just going to do just a crunch. Just a crunch. Yep. And again, that's an enormous range of motion for average people. Emily's got extremely strong abdominals. Most people may actually decrease the size of that a little bit and not even get the shoulders up quite as much. Let's go a little bit smaller with that, Emily. Keep your hands at your head. There you go. That's what we're looking at right there. So there's 3 variations of the abdominal crunch that you guys can do. And you can actually do it in that descending order too. Start with the difficult V crunch. going to the crunch where you're getting your shoulders way up off the mat, and then just continue moving the abdominal wall so you're just getting that good spinal flexion. Awesome. So you just had an abdominal workout right there without even moving. You do all 3 of those exercises for 3 sets until failure, I guarantee you're going to be sore and your abdominals are going to be where you want them to be. There's something to strive for. Awesome. Or hyper extension crunch. So all it is if you watch, it's all a spinal movement. There's not a lot going on in his hips. His hips are essentially locked. And all it is just rounding his spine until his abdominals are closed, are contracted, and he's coming up and he's contracting all the way back up. Let's get you to come a little bit further back at the top, Matt, so we get a really good contraction. Right there, awesome. So you're getting contraction all the way up that back. So one way that I teach my clients and athletes how to do this, if they've never done it before, is I simply put my hand underneath their abdominal wall and I say, I want you to crunch around this without touching it. There, exactly. So now you come all the way up and contract. And you round around this without touching it and contract. Go 2 more, round around it and contract. Awesome. So if you see, that's all a spinal movement. Rest. Good, so that's one way. Let's try that, Matt. So you come down, you come up, and now let's incorporate that rotational component. Boom. So all the way up and then rotate. All the way up, rotate. Amazing, love it. Good. You can try to rotate on the way up, which makes it a little more difficult, but I'd rather keep it as 2. There you go, that's great. Looks awesome to me. It's gonna hit a different component. Really important to incorporate those rotational components. A lot of people tend to neglect that when they're just physique athletes. Believe it or not, that plays a significant role in a lot of stabilizing movements. 2 more, each side. Good. Contract. Awesome. Good. Rest. How'd that feel?